um, US weekly call. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining, waking up early for some of those, and for staying up late for those in Australia, 12 o'clock from what I hear. So thank you so much for putting in the time to better yourself and those around you, which is your group, which is ultimately those that will be your success. Um, First off, I would want to turn the time over to Ryan Mumford to lead us in the call with some great news.
Oh, Ryan, we can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
His first Zoom
Perfect.
call.
Yes, better, yes.
It's my first Zoom call. No, welcome to the call. Thank you, Stu, for kicking this off, and we're so excited to be there. I wanted to tell you some good news about what's happening in October. So the first one is we have had some amazing accomplishments over just the last little bit. So I'd like to call out Corey, congratulations for winning the 500 Club. That is so awesome, and to finishing that out strong in October. Way to rock that through.
Hey, Corey. Good job,
Congratulations, Corey.
Good
So,
job, Corey.
there are so many others.
Thank you, everybody.
There are so many others that are so close on getting this promo, and so I want to make sure that everybody is getting there. And in fact, I was just going to try to find some that are getting a little bit close, that are getting there. So, you know, we have several that are 9 enrollments, 8 enrollments, 7 enrollments. You just need to get to 10, and you have, you know, today through Saturday to get those closed. The promo ends at the end of August. So, you know, I'm counting everything in today. So you've got 4 days. Run with this and get this done, because you don't want to miss out on all of that extra money. So get there through. Corey, it was so excited to see on WhatsApp all that fun communication and the congratulations and what's happened to your business. And I hope that WhatsApp can just blow up over the next 4 days with others sharing those same types of thoughts. So congratulations on closing out the 500 Club. Remind everyone in your team that it ends on Saturday at the end of the month. So to finish strong there. We also ran an incredible promo this month, and it was so strong, we wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to participate. And so that promo was extended. Instead of ending on the 25th, it ends at the end of the month on the 31st. So this is that promo where anybody who buys 200 volume in product can receive a free Genomics, a free Amora mud, and a free Amora toner. So Genomics is $50, Mud's $50, and the toner is $30. So this is a $130 promo add-on for buying it. And as you've already seen, when you buy the Immune Power Pack, you pay $240 and you get $340 worth of value, because it comes with 2 free Genomics. So really, it's kind of a crazy deal, because you're paying $240. You get $100 worth of free Genomics for buying the Immune Power Pack, and then you get an extra $130 thrown on top. So it's pay $240, get $230 in free product, all to grow your business. This is a deal that
Who came up with this deal? This is way too rich. I can't believe we're doing it.
But the ACTIVZ is just pulling out all the stops to help you grow your business right now. So everybody needs to take advantage of this. If they haven't had a chance to do it right now, do it. And the fun thing about this promo is that it works for brand new enrollments, people that are just joining the company today. So a lot of you are running to get to that next rank, to close out the month strong. And it's really awesome to be able to tell people that this is basically 50% off all of those products, right? And you get a chance to have all those bottles of Genomics that you get to build your business with, to help that next enrollment, to use that free bottle to go over and to close that next sale. And so make sure all of you are running to close that month strong. So 500 Club is ending. Our promo's ending at the end of the month, and it's a crazy strong promo. So make sure everybody's running with it. And then lastly, in the end of the month of October is the last month of our current Punta Cana 2021 incentive trip. So this is everybody who's racing to get to A10 to close out that. And I love the power of trips and what it means to be on them. So if you're running to get on this trip, do everything you can to close out strong and get to A10. But I was saying this last week, I think now is the time to set that personal goal to say, I will never miss the next trip, that next trip I will be on. And whatever those requirements are, I will do and close them to be there. And so throw that up on your vision board, write that down, make sure that you promise to be on that next trip, because I want to be able to see you there and I want your whole teams to be there as well. So there are more trips coming. There are other things that will be announced. So that's the incentive trip that's closing this month. Do everything you can to get to A10. With Stu, I will kick it back to you.
Thank you, Ryan, so much. I love starting the call with you, with your energy and with the great news. Like David said, who thinks of those kinds of things? But Ryan makes it work for our company to not only be profitable, but to give every savings and pass everything on to our distributors. You are the lifeline of this company. And so thank you so much, Ryan, for those wonderful promotions, for extending that to help each and every one of you to finish the month strong with these promotions, the 500 Club, working towards your trip. This Friday, our customer service center will extend its hours to 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So any calls or questions that you may have, our call center agents will be working late for you. In addition to that, we will open the call center on Saturday and extend those hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So this is all once again to help you get all that you can out of the month of October to finish strong. Get your free product before you get your free candy on Saturday, before you guys go to Halloween or trick-or-treating. For those that still go like myself, I actually dress up every Halloween. And so the kids come over to our house because it's so warm in Hawaii. Everyone keeps coming through. So we get to pass out candy a lot. And so I always dress up, but you need your genomics, you need your toner, you need your serum to look good, because yeah, I get a little scary during Halloween. But yes, our customer service center hours will be open for each and every one of you and for your groups. So with that being said, I'll turn the time over now to our president, Ryan Thompson.
Thanks, Stu. Good morning, everybody. It's fun to listen to you talk about getting dressed up for Halloween. Stu, I think we're all wondering, what do you dress up like? And so why don't you answer that question? What do you dress up as?
Well, it's always different. Last year I was Popeye.
Okay.
The Sailor Man. For those on this call, I'm pretty sure everybody on this call knows who Popeye is. But for some reason, the kids was like, "Who are you? What are you dressed up as?" And so I had to explain who Popeye was for the younger generation. But I always do Cat in the Hat, Popeye, Scarecrow, Thin Man, Superman, you name it, I do it.
Did you say the Thin Man? Thin Man?
Oh, I mean, the one on Wizard of Oz. What is his name? He's the
Tin Man,
right? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said the Thin Man. I'm saying you're.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
That's my when I switch with my twin brother, who's like 40 pounds lighter than me. Then yeah, we change the Thin Man.
You need to go as
the Incredible Hulk there, Stu.
Yeah, post pictures.
I can turn browner, but I cannot turn green.
All right. Well, that sounds awesome. Thank you, Stu, for the visual. That's put a smile on my face. Make sure you send pictures or post them this year. All right, everybody. I've just got a quick message here. It is we're in the final throes of the month, and I know that just from speaking with many of you on this call and boot camps and other calls that we've been doing, that many are pushing. You know, you're bumping up to that next rank and you're pushing hard. So, you know, just know that we're here to support you. I want to recognize and acknowledge many of you, some of you that are here. We've got some of our leaders A10, Trish Albertson here, A16, Christina Godoy is on the Zoom. So good morning to all the leaders that are also calling in, and to all the new folks who are joining us. I see some names that I don't recognize here. If you're new to ACTIVZ, welcome. We do this call every Wednesday morning at, I don't even know what time it is everywhere. My mind is thrown off because Mexico went through a time change last week. So 9 o'clock Pacific time there, that's what time it is. On Wednesday mornings, and we just like to share a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline and what we have going on. I will tell you something that I'm particularly excited about. Yesterday, we had a very long meeting. Once again, we have regular meetings, standing meetings to develop and to get ready for different things, whether they're upcoming incentive trips, whether they're upcoming announcements, markets, products. This is kind of what we do each and every day, day in and day out. Well, yesterday we spent quite a bit of time talking about November 21st, the upcoming global broadcast that'll be taking place from the Salt Lake affiliate of ABC in Salt Lake City. So again, make sure that you've marked your calendars. We're going to start at 9 o'clock Mountain Time for the English version, 9 to 12, and then from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. Mountain Time in Spanish, all in the same day. It was quite successful in July when we did this. But what I'm excited about isn't doing it, right? I'm excited about what we have coming down the pipeline. We'll be implementing some new, some new technologies, for lack of a better descriptor. And so we're working feverishly behind the scenes to get them ready. One is a payment system that is going to improve dramatically our ability to pay people and to receive payment from people, whether they are, in some cases, even unbanked. And that is the implementation of a platform called Hyperwallet. So you'll get more on that here over the coming weeks. We're not just going to surprise you with it, but we'll be cutting over to this new system here very soon. It will replace ProPay. And Hyperwallet is just a better service that is more accessible around the world, so people in other markets can use it. When I say unbanked, you can use the account. You can keep money on the account and use it to pay for things, just like you would with any debit or credit card. It will be branded ACTIVZ. So get ready. You'll hear more about that here very shortly. The other thing I'm excited about is we spent a lot of time talking about a new product that we're developing and sort of the epigenetic underpinnings of this product and how it works with our current offerings of Link, Genomics, and Optimend. And we spent a long time on that yesterday, and I'm not going to spill the beans other than to say that I think that you're all going to love it. It's going to be, sometimes we overuse the phrase game changer. I think that I would be maybe overstating, but for some, it may really be a game changer. It's going to open the door to certain demographics and segments of the population that are currently closed. We know that many people, most people around the world right now, not just in the United States, but in other countries, have really woken up to the need to protect themselves and to be healthy and to improve and enhance their immune system. And so we've been focusing on a lot of that the last, during the pandemic months. But we also see people wanting to say, hey, I need to drop some pounds. I need to get back on my A game. So this product is going to really help a lot with that. So I'm excited about that. Make sure that you're marking your calendar for November 21st. And this isn't, an exclusive, a club that we're trying to form here. Invite people, invite your friends, invite your family members, right? And let them join our exclusive club. Our exclusive club is open to anybody who is looking to improve their wellness and their ¿cómo se dice? Their estilo de vida. I am really struggling this morning. Their lifestyle, in wellness and financial. Guys, I'm going to switch gears. So I've said my piece about the upcoming event. It's going to be great. You got to make sure you're there. I want to share with you something real quick. I was on a conference call this morning after I dropped my kids off at school. They go to school about 30 minutes away from where I live, and their school has been open like this entire time. It's the only county, I think, in California that allowed kids to go to school. And so they've been going because, we're trying not to get too much brain damage here in the Thompson household. So I drive them to school, and I usually get home around 8:30. So that gives me a good half an hour where I can make phone calls and catch up on calls. So I'm talking to someone this morning, and this individual is a friend of mine that I've known for quite a while. We started a boot camp with her group 3 months ago. We're in the end of a 3-month cycle, a 90-day cycle. When we started this, she was being paid as an A4. She's now paid as an A9. And she was just kind of going on and on about how much better she feels, and the anxiety and frustration that she was having when she was being paid at that rank, of A4. She hit a higher rank before, and she's been working really hard to get back up. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying, because she's, very open about this, but she's just feeling really, really content. And she said, the peace of mind that I have when I'm paid an A9, like this really feels good. And she's talking about how she's gonna be closing as an A10 this month. And so we were having a great conversation, but the topic of habits came up. Because I like to set goals, right? We talk a lot about goal setting, have a daily plan of action. What's your daily goal? What's your weekly goal? What's your monthly goal? What are you shooting for? But we were talking about, that's kind of half the story. The other half the story is the story around habits, because it doesn't do us any good to have goals, right? Goals, what is a goal? It's something that you want, something you want to achieve. But really, to enact long-term sustainable changes in our life has nothing to do with goals. It has everything to do with the acquisition of habits, right? You can have, set a goal to start, creating some good habits in your life, or stop doing certain things that are bad habits. Most of what we do are habit driven, right? If we don't exercise, it's not because we don't, it's not because we're not in the mood. It's because we don't have the habit of exercising. If we exercise, it's not because, we felt motivated one day. It's because we're in the habit of doing it. People that are investing in themselves, organizing their time, it's not because they woke up one day and said, I'm going to just really, really be all day, all in today. I'm going to organize my day. And then the rest of the week, it just, goes to pot. Sometimes it happens, but if you really want to make, a difference, it's all about that habit. So what she was telling me, her name is Veronica. Some of you might know who I'm talking about. And she says, Ryan, my goal has been, since we started this, to make 15 calls a day. That's something that I like to talk about, and a lot, or 5 calls a day, 10 calls a day, but just those contacts. And she's telling me about the anxiety that she feels in doing that, or she was feeling. But now that it's becoming a habit, she's like, it's so funny. It's like, I've been in the business and been doing business now for years, right? She was involved in a previous company with us at LifeVantage. And she said, I never had any of these habits. And she said, now that I have this habit, she's like, the anxiety that I remember having, it's like not there. And just to give you like a little, insight into her, she is a very timid personality by nature, right? She's not someone who needs to be at the front of the room. She's not someone who beats her chest or talks about all of her achievements ever, right? That's just not her personality. She's just a really sweet, soft-spoken mom, who drives her kids, to school every day in their minivan. I mean, that's kind of, when I think of her, that's what I think about. But she's acquired this habit that's making a big difference, not just in her life, but now in her team's life, because they're duplicating what she does, right? And so she and I were talking about that this morning, trying to, we're just brainstorming. She wanted to bounce a couple things off me and say, this month or next month, I want to do a promotion myself for my team, right? So she's putting together something that she's going to do for her team, to help motivate them to hit certain ranks. One person, she wants to get to A4. She's working with someone else to get to A6. She's working with someone else, I think, to get to A5. There's like 4 or 5 people that she was going to do this promotion for. But part of it, the kind of the underlying message of our conversation was the difference that you feel when you recognize that, I have a new habit. I have this new habit that I've acquired. In her case, it's contacting and following up that she never used to have. You know, she'd contact a couple people, but then go long periods of time without doing it. And she said, you know, the fact that she has this habit has helped her overcome that fear, overcome her timidness, her shyness, things like that. So when I got back to my office here after our conversation, I remembered an audio that I'd been listening to where the guy actually talks about this, right? He talks about how goals they're not a lie, but that's not what we should be aiming for. We should be aiming for habits. And so I looked up a quote and he says, you know, first forget about inspiration. Habit is way more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. And habit is persistence and practice. So, you know, if you're anything like me, you know, we try to I literally try to spend 15 minutes every day, well, sometimes 30 minutes, just really getting inspired, right? Getting my head in the right place. Because if I don't have my A game, right, with me throughout the day. And when I don't do that, you know, other things, you know, fall to the wayside and fall apart. But I look for inspiration, I look for motivation, but that quote is really true, right? Sometimes we do that when we don't have a habit. If you have the habit of doing something, you're going to do it, whether you're feeling motivated or not, because it's a habit, right? So I don't want to beat a dead horse, you know, here, but that's really my message this morning is as we close October, we go into November, then we're going to December, we're going to be thinking about New Year's resolutions, right? That's just what people do. Rather than looking to resolve things, you know, or you know, to set, you know, goals, say, okay, this goal, I'm going to do this. It's fine. Set a goal, but create the mechanism with which you can implement and create that habit, right? So if your goal is to hit A12 this next month, or A15 this next month, or A14 or A16 or A10, whatever that goal is, you've got to make sure that on a daily basis, you're engaged in the proper activities that would become habit forming, right? Healthy habits, right? And if we're doing things that are robbing us of valuable time, you know, taking us off that trajectory to achieve, then we've got to systematically eliminate those, replace them with something that's productive. So that's my message. Hope you guys have a fantastic close this month. We're running hard, as Stu said. We've got you know, we're going to have people working on Saturday and late Friday night to help people close. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. If there's anything we can do to support you, please let us know. And I think David's up to bat now. So David, I'll go ahead and pass the baton to you.
Thanks, Ryan. I just want everybody to know it doesn't take me 15 or 30 minutes to get Ryan inspired every day. He's much easier to inspire. No, I'm just kidding. He's able to inspire us every day. But it's actually a good segue. Before I get into one of the things I want to talk about, I wanted to give a couple more announcements. One is that this Friday at 7 p.m., I've been asked to do the product overview. And so I'm happy to spend some time talking about some of my favorite subjects, which are the products that we offer at ACTIVZ. Although the best, you know, I just have to add, if I'm ever asked what are my favorite products at ACTIVZ, my answer is always the same. It's always all of you. You and each of us are really the best products that ACTIVZ offers, regardless of what the supplements are. The fact that you're willing to get outside of your comfort zone, the fact that you're willing to think about others, and the fact that you're trying to change your own life as you change others' lives makes it the best, most inspirational product we have to offer. Secondly, along those same lines, on November 13th, Friday at 7 p.m., we'll be having our next medical forum. And we're going to keep somewhat of the same format. We'll be inviting a mixture of distributors who have a health background and then also members of our advisory board. Some of you are on this call today who have been invited to participate. We'll be following up with you, and we'll also ask you to submit questions if you have additional questions or things that you'd like us to discuss. So please follow that same protocol that you did last month. And I think it was a pretty successful first medical forum. We learned some things. We'll try and get better every single time. But I thought for our first foray, it was pretty good. And I want to thank all those who participated from our advisory board and of course, Dr. Larry Martin. You know, I got an interesting text yesterday along with a long audio message from someone that Ryan and I know very well. She's still at her last company. She's probably their highest earner. I don't think probably at all. She is their highest earner. Like, I was going to call Ryan. In fact, often when I get a text and audio message, he gets a text and audio message the same day. So I'm thinking you probably did. And she shared with us a presentation that she gave at one of their recent events, a virtual event. And it was great. You know, she did a good job. I've always enjoyed listening to her. The thrust of her comments was basically about visualizing what you want to accomplish in life, kind of along the lines of The Secret, or if you've read Mike Murphy's book, the Creation Frequency, the idea of, you know, really putting it out there in the universe, and if you really want it badly enough and believe in yourself and see yourself getting it, the forces of the universe will conspire to help you get it. Which I believe, but I also believe that if you don't do what Ryan just said, if you don't establish habits and take action, that belief alone is not just going to cause things to get done by themselves. And so I think that setting those goals and then working to achieve them. Somebody once said that goals are stars to steer by, but not sticks to beat yourself with. You have to really establish those habits. He mentioned exercise. You know, a lot of people, when they first start into the drudgery of exercise, it's really hard to get psyched up. In fact, you kind of get butterflies and kind of look for ways and reasons not to do it. And I think that's true of anything that's difficult or initially distasteful. But what's interesting about exercise is the more that you do it, and it doesn't happen right away, you have to get into it for a while, your body releases endorphins, right? Happy neurotransmitters. Coco's nodding her head. She knows, she's a runner. She knows all about the runner's high. And then once you start getting those endorphins, it creates a positive feedback cycle, so that when you miss your next workout, or if something comes up, you're like, oh man, this thing I used to hate, now I can't live without. And I really got to do this and make sure and that's true of everything. You know, somebody once said that when we persist in doing something that's difficult, it gets easier, not because the nature of the task itself has changed, but because our ability to do it has increased. And that just comes by continuous action as we continue to put forth that effort. You know, I hate to view everything in life right now through the glasses of my recent surgery. But one of the things where I'm at right now, I can now say, hello, I'm here, pick me. But that's about as far as I can go. And the reason for that largely is because there's strength that's been lost, but also because of the very activity that was meant to repair my shoulder, it's actually holding me back, which is scar tissue. And that scar tissue has to be broken up and pushed through. And it's painful. And there are things I do every day to try and break that scar tissue up so I have that increased mobility. And I think that there's a lesson there as we apply to other aspects of our life. If there are things that are holding us back because of old bad habits, things that aren't getting us closer to what we want to do, things we're spending our time on that aren't helping us accomplish those goals, it's sometimes painful to break up that scar tissue, so to speak, those old habits, those things that we've ingrained ourselves in. And sometimes some of those comfort things that when things get tough, we just kind of curl up into a ball and we just kind of retreat from ourselves rather than getting out there and doing those things that we really know we should do. But I can just tell you this, that, and I'm kind of preaching to the choir here because all of you are on this call, all of you are amongst the leaders of the company, so you already know how to do this. So part of this might be figuring out a way to inspire this in others, but also remembering it on those days where, like Ryan said, we all need to find inspiration on a daily basis to keep ourselves going, is to remind yourself of the little victories that you've already achieved. Remind yourself of why you're in this, but also don't be afraid to change your game plan. Every sports team, every athlete, it goes into a competition with a game plan. But if partway through you're losing, you should change, because if you keep doing it, you're just going to keep losing. So you might as well just change, and you can almost change to anything. And as we talk about going into the new year and whether we've reached our goals or not, you know what? Time is going to pass one way or another. We're either going to be getting closer to our goals or not. So as we remind ourselves to take that action every single day, especially the difficult things, I think you'll find, and I know, we know Veronica that Ryan was talking about. I remember when she picked us up in Mexico one time and took us around. She's very shy. She actually speaks a lot more Spanish or English than I speak Spanish, but she was very reticent. I could tell that she wasn't a woman who was really naturally outgoing and gregarious. But to think that she's a perfect example of doing this over and over again, so it becomes second nature and easy and just part of what she does, it's a wonderful lesson and things that, and I think that's really important for us to keep in mind. So let's break through our own personal scar tissue, whatever that is. Let's break through those things, set those goals, and it's. I also want to say one more thing about that person. There have been times in the past, especially in the early days of the company, when I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could get her to join our company? And it's not to say that it wouldn't be great, but what I can say is this. I remember the day she joined that company. I was there. I was recruiting her. And I saw where she was and where she got to. And as I see on this call, there's every single person on this call has that same capacity. There was nothing that was particularly unique, except I'll tell you the thing that she had in common with many of you is that she'd had previous experiences in other companies that hadn't gone so well. She'd had lots of failures in life, and she'd had a pretty good success along the way, but nothing that compared to what she was about to accomplish. And she certainly didn't do it on her own, and she'd be the first one to admit that. So I can tell you this: I don't pine away for people who I thought at one point would be really great boons to our company's success, because I know we've got you here already. I'm very happy with the leaders that we have. I see nothing but great days and great success ahead. And I'm looking forward to seeing many of you, hopefully all of you, stand on a stage, give a presentation very similar to what she did. And as you reflect back on the lessons that you've learned and the things that you've been able to accomplish, and realize how much you've grown on the journey along the way and the things that we've accomplished together. So anyway, it's great being with you today. I don't know, Ryan or either of the Ryans or Stu, if we have anything else to touch base on. But Stu, I'll just turn it back to you.
You got Coops. That's good. Yeah, Stu.
Yep. Thanks, David, so much for those messages. Ryan Thompson, Ryan Mumford, love the messages, the promotion, the great news that we have. So once again, tomorrow we will be having our weekly calls, and actually Ryan Thompson is going to be presenting. Then David will be on Friday talking about the product. So I'm so grateful that we have our executives willing to get on calls for you to talk about our company and our wonderful products. But David, I love your favorite product. I get choked up every time I hear that when you actually put the people before yourself, before your actual products that I know you love, Optum and Link, but there's nothing that compares to the wonderful products that we have in our people. And I repeatedly tell this to the Japanese as well, is I don't work for the CEO, David Brown, or our president, Ryan Thompson. I actually work for you. I work for you distributors, you leaders. And so once again, I just want to repeat what David said is thank you for all that you do. Don't forget about our wonderful promotions that we have extended to the ending of this month. Continue to work hard to join the 500 club like Corey. Once again, I wanted to give a shout out to him and for all his accomplishments and for every one of your accomplishments here on this call. I look forward to congratulating and welcoming more people into the club. So we become what we repeatedly do. Our message from Ryan, create good habits. Being on the call today, each week is a great habit. Being on our weekly calls is also a good habit to form. And so once again, thanks everyone for joining us on this call. And we will be ending this call. We look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, and sorry, it's tonight our call. I want to apologize. Our Wednesday call is tonight, not tomorrow. Our presentation. So we'll see you later on tonight, if not next week or Friday for our product calls. And thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Stu. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, Janine.
Day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
you all. Bye.
Trish, are you still there?